My wife and I had been arguing for the past few days, and well, we weren't on speaking terms when this incident had occurred. What we were fighting about, don't even ask, because I don't even remember. But whatever it was, I'm sure it was over something dumb. I had just gotten home from work, and it was about 7:30 p.m. or so, and it was already dark out. I saw that my wife's car was in the driveway, so I knew she was already home. As I made my way in, I saw out of the corner of my right eye that my wife was in the kitchen. She was probably prepping for dinner, or whatever, I thought. But since we weren't on speaking terms, it was normal for us to not greet each other, and so I didn't bother approaching her. I went to go hang up my coat, and then as usual, called out for our dog Max. Normally, he would already be at the door, ready and waiting to greet me, but he must have been asleep or in the other room. I called for him. "Max!" He then came running to me, but stopped halfway and slowly started backing up. I was like, "Come on, boy, come here." But he just kept backing up, and then he ran back into the other room. "Oh, you too, huh? Whatever." And then I just made my way down to the basement to go listen to some music on my headphones. I was at my desk, just jamming away. And then I pulled out my phone from my pocket. And from the lock screen, I could see that I had 2 unread text messages from my wife. I don't remember feeling the vibration, but the timestamps show that I had just received the text messages about 15 minutes ago or so. I figured this was just my wife going off via text about things that I needed to change about myself and blah blah blah. I wasn't having it. And hey, if she wanted to talk, she could have just came downstairs and we could have a real talk and handle the issue right now. But no, she was just upstairs doing her own thing. An hour had passed by now, and I was starting to get tired. I turned my music down a bit, and for some reason, I heard some noises coming from up above. I then paused my music to get a better listen. I waited in silence for about 10 seconds, and then I heard the sound of pots and pans falling onto the floor above me. Angrily, I yelled out, What the hell are you doing up there?" Just a few seconds later, my dog Max came running down the stairs and right over to me and hid under my desk where I was sitting. "The hell's wrong with you, boy?" He just started whimpering as he trembled. I patted him on the head. "You okay, boy? What's the matter?" And then I got up from my desk and headed for the stairs. As I made my way up, I saw that the lights upstairs were completely off. My phone started ringing. I looked down and saw that it was my wife. Why the hell was she calling me? I ignored the call and let it go to voicemail. I had now gotten to the top of the stairs and turned the corner and then into our kitchen. I turned on the lights and well, all the pots and pans were all over the floor. Not only that, but all of the cabinet doors, including the pantry and drawers, were wide open. I was pissed at this point and rushed over to our bedroom to go confront my wife, but when I got there, she was nowhere to be found. "Oh, you think this is funny? Well, guess what? I'm not cleaning this up, just so you know." And then I went over to the window to see if my wife's car was still in the driveway, and it was. And then my phone went off again. It was my wife. Again. I picked up angrily and said, Hey, what the hell is your problem? Problem? What are you talking about? Why haven't you responded to any of my texts? She asked. Why the hell are you texting me when we are under the same roof, huh? What? Look, I texted you earlier to tell you that we could talk when I got home, but that my car was also making some strange noises, and so I had came home around 5 or so to drop off my car in the driveway, and then I had my sister Rita come pick me up to go to the mall for a bit. I thought for a second. Wait, what? 5? Nuh-uh. You were home when I got home at 7:30 p.m. Stop messing around with me. This is serious. Honey, I am dead serious. I have been with Rita this whole time. Did you want to speak to her? I then got the chills all of a sudden. Wait. If you were with Rita this whole time, who the fuck did I see in the kitchen when I got home? Babe, you're scaring me. What are you talking about? No. When I got home, I seriously thought I saw you in the kitchen prepping dinner, but since we had been fighting, I just went straight to the basement to go relax. But let me call you back. I hung up the phone and ran back downstairs to grab Max, and we just headed straight for the door. We got into my car, and I called my wife back and asked her where she was and that I was coming to pick her up because I didn't want to be alone in that house. As soon as I saw my wife, she looked frightened and a bit worried, but man, was I happy to see her. I told her exactly what happened, and it freaked her out. I mean, if it wasn't her in the kitchen, who did I see in the corner of my eye when I walked in? I mean, this may also explain why Max was acting all strange as well. The next day, I called my father and told him about the incident. He told me to not worry too much and that he would have one of our relatives come over to perform a spiritual cleansing. But he also asked me if my wife and I had been fighting. I confessed and said yes, and he scolded me for a bit. He went on saying that I should have known better. And then immediately, it all came back to me. All of a sudden, I recalled the very words my father had told me the moment my wife and I had gotten married. He told me that from that day on, moving forward, that we would be starting a new chapter of our lives. That with the new home that we build here on out, we will now be surrounded by both positive and negative energies. Whatever issues you two may have had in the past, let this be your new start, and remember that evil feeds off negative energies. You don't want to let these demons into your home, son. So please, love each other. And without argument, I acknowledged my carelessness. After getting off the phone with my father, I looked over to my wife. It had felt like forever since I've seen her eyes. Without exchanging words of disagreement, we held each other close and tight. We said our apologies and vowed to move on from this experience. It has now been about 2 weeks, and we have not seen or heard anything paranormal in our home. I take it that what I had experienced that very night was most likely a wake-up call or a warning. I mean, don't get me wrong, My wife and I still have our moments and disagreements today, but we know not to let things escalate the way they have, like in the past. When we look at each other, we remember. I can only hope that others can learn from this. And this isn't some kind of a marriage counseling lecture, no. I'm dead serious. Have patience with each other. If you only knew what I had witnessed that night, you'd understand. But remember, even when we are home alone, we really aren't.